Hi, I'm Kim and welcome to a gentle yoga class. Before we get started, if you have foam yoga blocks like this, place one at each end of your mat, like I have mine, so they'll be ready for when we need them. But if you don't have yoga blocks, that's fine also. You can just make modifications to the pose to the level that you can do the pose without a block. So we're going to start in a standing position today. So we're going to find a nice solid Tadasana before we start, or mountain pose. And for this pose, you want your feet about hip width apart. And you want to lift all your toes off the mat. And then slowly lower them down one at a time. Pinky toe first, and then each toe as slow as you can so they all get grounded into the mat. And then come up on your tippy toes and down onto your heels so you feel all the parts of your feet really gripping the mat. And then do slow circles one direction with your hips so you feel all the parts of your feet touching the mat. And change direction. Then come to stillness and get a little tension in your legs, a nice neutral pelvis, not forward or back. And you want your torso nice and lifted, so reach up like you're reaching for the top shelf of something, a closet, pantry. Reach, and then lower your arms. And then your shoulders you want to roll up, back, and then down, because that gets your shoulders in a good position, but also takes your neck into better alignment, because it brings your neck back. The neck still tends to be tilted forward a little bit, so take your hand, and press your head back against your hand like you're resting your head against a car rest. And that takes your neck into really good alignment. And then you want to feel like there's a string lifting out the top of your head, really elongating your spine. And your hands can be neutral. And let's just enjoy this nice, strong Tadasana pose for a few breaths. So you can either gaze gently at the floor or close your eyes if you're comfortable. While we're here, let's listen to our breath. And is your breath short or shallow? And if it is, try and lengthen your inhales and your exhales to whatever's comfortable for you. Maybe a count of 4 on an inhale, 6 on an exhale. And try and breathe in and out through your nose and tap into your parasympathetic nervous system. And if you'd like to set an intention for your practice, this would be a good time to do it. If you'd like to devote it to someone you're thinking of, or that isn't well, or just a state of being. Peace, tranquility, harmony, or just an intention of staying present. Taking this time for yourself. Good. Take another inhale. On an exhale, gently lower your chin to your chest, keeping your shoulders back and down. And then on an inhale, roll your right ear to your right shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, roll your left ear to your left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Do a few of these at your own speed with your own breath. Inhaling ear to shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest. And then come to stillness with your chin at your chest and reach up with your hands and give yourself a little shoulder massage as you bring your head up to center. Sometimes crossing your arms over each other gives a better vantage point for your hands on your shoulders. And a little neck massage. You can reach really far back and get your shoulder blades. Now let's start connecting our breath with our movement. And on an inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more. Inhale up. Exhale down. And take your right foot across your left foot. And then reach up with your left arm and exhale over a gentle fold. Inhale back up and over with that arm and up again with the same arm. And one more time with this arm, inhaling up, exhaling down. Then switch feet, cross your left foot over your right foot. And inhale, reach up with your right arm and exhale over. It's a little bit of a balance challenge too. Inhale back up and down, and same arm up. And one more time. Now separate your feet a little further than shoulder width apart and angle your feet out just a little bit, about 45 degrees. And on an inhale, reach up for 5-pointed star. Exhale into goddess. Inhale, 5-pointed star. And goddess. One more, 5-pointed star. And goddess. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Then bring your hands down above your knees, gently up on your thighs, and angle your feet more towards the front of the room. And bend your knees to a gentle squat position. And on an inhale, take an inhale, then exhale, twist your right shoulder forward and your left shoulder back for a little twist. Look back over your left shoulder. Inhale back to center. Twist your left shoulder forward. Look back over your right shoulder. And center. And right shoulder front. And center. And left shoulder. And center. And right shoulder. And center. One more time, left shoulder. And center. And stand up, bring your feet closer together. And inhale up, reach up. Exhale into chair. Inhale up. Exhale, chair. One more, inhale up. Exhale, chair. And then you can rest your hands gently above your knees, try not to press on your knees. And then step back with your right foot to be on your knee. And then inhale, go into a lunge and lift your arms up on an inhale. Exhale, go deeper into your lunge. Inhale up. Exhale, lunge. One more. Up. And lunge. And then lower your left hand to the mat and make big, slow circles with your right arm, one direction. And then bring your right hand to the mat and do big, slow circles with your left arm, one direction. And then come to stillness and bring your right foot up to meet your left foot and up into chair. And then inhale up, exhale chair. And up and chair. One more, up and chair. And then rest your hands again above your knees, gently on your thighs, and step back with your left foot to be on your left knee. And then inhale, reach up. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, up. Exhale, lunge. One more, up and lunge. And then place your left hand on the mat and do big, slow circles with your right arm. And then place your right hand on the mat and do big, slow circles with your left arm. And then bring your right foot back to be on your knees for tabletop. And then sit down on your heels if this is comfortable. If not, you can place a little pillow under your hips. And take a breath here in thunderbolt pose. I'm going to turn this way. From here, bring your left foot in front of you like you're going to cross your ankles, and take your right foot out beside you. So you've got two almost 90-degree angles with your legs. And once you're situated, take an inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, twist your torso to the left and lower your hands. We're going to stay here for a couple of breaths, so make small adjustments. Maybe twist just a little bit more to your left on the exhale. Maybe apply a little more pressure with your right hand on your left knee to twist just a little bit more. Then look back over your right shoulder towards the front of the room or the screen. And then look back over your left shoulder towards the back. Then reverse your twist to the other side. And take a breath. And come back to center and change your legs. Bring your right foot in, take your left foot out. And then once you're positioned, inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, twist your torso to the right this time and lower your hands. And again, we're going to stay here for a couple of breaths, so make small adjustments. Maybe try and look back over your right shoulder just a little bit more on an exhale. And breathe. Keep trying to breathe in and out through your nose. And then look back over your left shoulder towards the front of the room. And back over your right shoulder. Then reverse your twist. And then come back to center. Bring in your left ankle to cross your legs. And if you need to sit up on something here, you can too, to elevate your hips. Inhale, reach up to the ceiling. Exhale, hinge your hips flat back, forward fold. And then take a couple of breaths here. And walk your hands over to the right side over your right knee. And take a breath. And walk your hands back to center and over to your left side. And walk your hands back to center and use them to push yourself back up to seated, and then bring your legs straight out in front of you. And flex your feet, activate your legs, little tension in your legs. To get nice and tall on your sits bones, use your hands to lift yourself up and set back down. And then inhale, reach up for the sky again. Exhale, hinge your hips flat back, forward fold, as far as you can go. And breathe. On an inhale, use your hands to walk yourself back up and bring your feet around and come up onto your knees. And straighten your left leg. We'll be mirroring each other here. So, and then on an inhale, lift up your right arm and exhale it over your leg for gate pose. And take a breath. And inhale up and over with that hand to the mat, and up and over with the other arm. And really press your foot into the mat. Reach with your fingertips. Really elongate your side. And then on an inhale, do big slow circles one direction with your arm. And change direction. Then inhale up one more time with your right arm and exhale over. And inhale up and over with that arm and change knees and straighten your right leg. And inhale, reach up with your left arm, exhale over. Inhale up and over with that hand to the mat, up and over with your other arm. And again, really press your foot into the mat, reach with your fingertips. And inhale, make big slow circles one direction with your arm. And change direction. And then inhale up one more time with your left arm and exhale over. Then inhale up and over with that arm and back to both of your knees. And if it's comfortable for you to sit on your, well, to have your toes flexed like this, or they can be flat, but you can get a nice toe stretch here if you flex them. And then place your hands on your hips, roll your shoulders back and down. Take an inhale. Exhale, press your hands against your hips and do a gentle back bend camel with your upper back. Take a couple of breaths. And then inhale up and over into tabletop. And once you're in tabletop, take an inhale. Exhale, look over your right shoulder, shift your hips a little to the left, and look so far that you can see your left foot if possible. Get a nice left side stretch. Inhale back to center, look over your left shoulder, shift your hips to the right, and look so far over your shoulder that you can almost see your right foot if possible. Then back to center, over your right shoulder. And center, and left. And center, and right. Center, and left. And back to center. And then on an inhale, lift your head and your tailbone towards the ceiling, really lengthening your abdominal muscles, trying not to compress your back. Exhale into cat. Inhale into cow. Do a few of these at your own speed with your own breath. Inhaling in cow, exhaling in cat. And then come to stillness and straighten your right leg. Flex your foot, press your heel back towards the wall behind you, and take a breath. And bring your right knee back to the mat, straighten your left leg. And take a breath. And lift your left leg straight up and your right arm straight out. Really press with your heel, reach with your fingertips to lengthen your back. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower down. Lift your left arm, right leg. Reach and press. Exhale down. Right arm, left leg. And down. Left arm, right leg. And down. One more, right arm, left leg. And down. Left arm, right leg. And down. And now let's melt back into child's pose for a couple of breaths. If child's pose is uncomfortable for you in the hip area, you could separate your legs a little bit, not necessarily wide knees or anything, but just separate them a little bit to make more room for your pelvis. And take a few nice deep breaths here. And look up between your hands and walk your hands over to the right side of your mat and place your left hand on top of your right hand and take a breath. And then walk your hands back to center and over to the left side of your mat. And place your right hand on top of your left hand and take a breath. And then walk your hands back to center and press up into tabletop. And take an inhale and reach up with your place your right hand at the center of the mat. Reach up with your left arm on an inhale. Exhale dynamically through for a thread the needle. Inhale back up. Exhale through. One more, up and through, and then we're going to hold it here for a few breaths, so make small adjustments. Maybe walk your right hand further up the mat and use it to press your hips further back. If you'd like to take a bind, you could reach up and around with your right arm across your back. And take a few nourishing inhales here and cleansing exhales. Next inhale, if you're in a bind, release your bind and press your right hand into the mat and reach up one more time with your left arm for an inhale. Exhale, your hand to the mat, left hand. Then place your left hand closer to the center of the mat. Inhale, reach up with your right arm. Exhale dynamically through. Inhale up. Exhale through. One more, up and through. And then again, we're going to hold it here for a few breaths, so make small adjustments. Maybe walk your left hand further up the mat, use it to press your hips further back. If you'd like to take a bind on this side, you can reach up with your left arm and lay it across your back. And breathe. On your next inhale, if you're in a bind, release your bind and press your left hand into the mat. Reach up one more time with your right arm on an inhale and exhale down to the mat. Now walk your hands up to the top corners of your mat. And walk your knees back a little bit so your hips stay under your knees. And then melt down into puppy pose. Take a couple of breaths here. Then look between your hands and slide forward onto your stomach. For Sphinx pose. And once you're positioned in your Sphinx pose with your elbows right under your shoulders and your legs straight, if you're having any back discomfort, you could separate your legs a little bit. And then spread your fingers wide apart so you can really grip the mat. Then once you're positioned, use your fingers to shrug yourself forward on your hip bones a little bit more to give a little more activation to your abdominal muscles. We're going to stay here for a few breaths, so you can look around, do whatever you'd like with your head. Look around. You can look down, just try not to drop your shoulders. And then on an exhale, lower all the way down. Bring your hands back by your sides. We're going to go into locust pose, where on an inhale, we'll lift both our legs and our arms, bringing your shoulder blades together, and stay there for a few breaths before we release. So on an inhale, up and breathe. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And one more, up. And exhale down. And then bend your knees and reach back for your ankles. If you can reach them, that's good. If not, that's fine too. And you can just reach towards them. But if you can, grasp them. And on an inhale, press up with your feet and breathe for bow pose. And exhale, release. And make a pillow for your head. And bring your toes together and drop your heels out for crocodile pose. And take a couple of breaths here. You could stay still or rock your hips a little. And your next inhale, press up into tabletop and back into child's pose. Then on the inhale, come back up into tabletop and through for up dog. And exhale. Inhale back into child's pose. And into tabletop, into up dog. One more, child's pose. Into up dog. And back into tabletop and then into downward dog. And establish a nice solid downward dog with a nice long neck, your hips lifting towards the ceiling, your belly button reaching for your spine, your fingertips spread apart, gripping the mat. And then let's do big slow walks of our dog, pressing one heel as far down as you can, lifting the other one as high as you can, nice and slowly. And then come to stillness and look between your hands and bring your left foot through for a low lunge, either with your knee on the mat or off the mat. And then reaching for the sky. Take an inhale. Exhale, twist your torso to the right and straighten your arms. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist to your left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, lower down to the mat. And then inhale, go a little deeper into your lunge. Exhale back into a hamstring stretch. Inhale, lunge. Exhale back. One more lunge. And back. And then we're going to hold it here for a breath or two. So make small adjustments. If you're not flexing your foot already, try flexing it, maybe pointing it a little bit, a couple of times. And then end up flexing it. And then come forward onto your foot and walk your foot over to the right side of your mat and lower your knee down for pigeon. And your back leg in pigeon can be straight or it can be bent to any degree that's comfortable for you, and it's the same effect. The most important thing in pigeon is to have your hips level so that when you lift your hands, you don't tip over. So on this side, if you tip over when you lift your hands, then you want to place something under your left hip, like a blanket or a pillow or bolster, something like that to support you so you don't tip over. And then if your back leg is straight, look back and make sure it's as straight as it can be, not sickling in or out. And once you're positioned, take an inhale. Exhale, slowly lower down. Then we're going to stay here for a few breaths. So make small adjustments. Flex your left foot if you're not already, the one closest to you. Try and lower your right hip closer to the mat. And breathe. Next, inhale, press back up and back into downward dog again. And this time in downward dog, on an inhale, come up on your tippy toes. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more up and down. And then look between your hands and bring your right foot through for a low lunge, either with your knee on the mat or off the mat. And then reach up for the sky. Exhale, twist your torso to the right, straighten your arms. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to your left. Inhale, center. Exhale, lower your knee to the mat if it's not already lowered. Take an inhale and exhale into your lunge a little deeper. And then back into hamstring stretch. Into lunge. And hamstring stretch. One more. Lunge. And stretch. And then we're going to hold it here for a few breaths. So again, make small adjustments. If you're not flexing your right foot, do that and breathe. And then come forward onto your right foot and walk it over to the left side of your mat and lower your knee for pigeon on this side. And again, check your balance. And if you tip over on this side, then you want to put something under your right hip to support you. And take an inhale. On an exhale, lower slowly down. And again, make small adjustments. Flex your right foot if you're not already, the one closest to you. Try and lower your left hip closer to the mat. And breathe. Next inhale, press back up into pigeon and back into downward dog. And take a breath here. And then press down into plank. Bend your right knee, but don't let it touch the mat. Bend your left knee. Right knee and left knee, right knee and left knee. Then let your heels drop to the left and come up on your left hand for a side plank. You could also do this down on your elbow, do elbow plank down here. So whichever modification feels best for you, and take a few breaths. Exhale your right hand back to the mat, and then let your heels fall to the right and come up on your right hand for side plank. And again, you could do that on your elbow. And breathe. Exhale your left hand to the mat, back to plank, and then press back into downward dog. And then walk your right foot across your left foot across right. Bend your knees if you need to, crossing your feet all the way up to a forward fold. And then uncross your feet once you get to the forward fold. And then bend your left knee, keep your left hand on the mat, reach up with your right arm for a twist, grasp your right ankle if you can. And exhale, lower your right hand to the mat, bend your right knee, reach up with your left arm for a twist. Grasp your left ankle if you can. And then exhale, lower your left hand to the mat. And bend your knees if you need to. Hinge at the hips, flat back, reach all the way up. Do a little right bend. And a little left bend. And a little upper back bend. Inhale back to center. Exhale, hands heart center. Okay, now let's have your feet about hip width apart, maybe a little closer, whatever's good for you for chair pose, and usually a little closer than hip width apart is good for chair pose. And on an inhale, come up on your tippy toes, raise your arms up towards the sky. Exhale down into chair. Inhale up. Exhale, chair. One more. Up and chair, and then stay here. Take an inhale, exhale, twist your torso to the left and prop your elbow back to center, twist to your right and back to center. Sit a little deeper and inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips, flat back, forward fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, hands heart center. Okay, today we're going to incorporate a gentle sun salutation in our movement section. So we're going to practice it once first before we incorporate it into a flow. But you're going to start at the top of your mat, and I'm I'm going to show a few different variations at one point, so we'll pause when we get to that part. So we're going to start in Tadasana. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, step back with your left foot for a low lunge. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, this is where the modifications come in. You can exhale back to just tabletop is the first modification, the most gentle. Tabletop, then to up dog. The next modification would be you could come back from lunge into plank to knees to up dog. And the third modification you could come back to from the lunge is you could come to plank, and then you could lower, not do a chaturanga, but just lower all the way down to your stomach, and then up to up dog before we move to the next steps, which after the up dog, from any of the modifications that you do, you're going to exhale into downward dog. Inhale, lift your left leg to the sky. Exhale, bring it through for a low lunge. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, bring your right foot forward, rise up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, hands heart center. Okay, so the modification part, just choose whichever one you want to do. Either the tabletop to the up dog, the plank to the knees to the up dog, or plank all the way to your stomach to the up dog before we move along in that sequence. So, here we go. Start at Tadasana. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, step back with your left foot for a low lunge. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, your choice. Inhale into up dog. Exhale into downward dog. Inhale, lift your left leg for the sky. Exhale, bring it through for a low lunge. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, bring your right foot forward, rise halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, step back with your left foot. So hopefully we'll be mirroring each other. So we should be in warrior two. And check your warrior two before we move along, that your knee is over your ankle as much as possible. And your feet are really grounding into the mat. Nice strong legs, arms shoulder height. And if we're mirroring, your right leg, your right knee will be bent. So take an inhale in warrior two. Exhale into peaceful warrior. Keeping your legs the same way. Inhale over into extended side angle. Back into warrior two. Into peaceful warrior. Over into extended side angle. One more warrior two. Into peaceful warrior. Into extended side angle. Inhale into high lunge. Exhale, bend your back knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend and straighten. One more. Bend and straighten. Then over into pyramid. This is a good place for a block if you have a block. If not, you can modify wherever you need to be in pyramid. Take a breath. And then open into triangle. This is another great place for a block. Even if you don't usually use a block, it's a nice variation to press on it and try it. If not, you can do it without a block. Then inhale, back up into warrior two. Into peaceful warrior. Over into extended side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Inhale, extended side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Inhale, extended side angle. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, bend your back knee. Straighten and bend, straighten and bend, and straighten. And over into pyramid. And open into triangle. And up into warrior two, one more time. And back into peaceful warrior. Over into extended side angle. Up into warrior two. Peaceful warrior. To extended side angle. Last time, warrior two. Peaceful warrior. Extended side angle. Into high lunge. Bend your back knee. And straighten. And bend. Straighten. And bend. Last one. Straighten. Over into pyramid. Open into triangle. And inhale back up. And change direction of your warrior two. So that now your left knee should be bent. And then inhale, bring your arms together, feet together. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, step back with your left leg for a low lunge. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, your choice. Exhale. Inhale into up dog. Exhale into downward dog. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, bring it through for a low lunge. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, bring your arms down. Inhale, bring your right foot forward, rise halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, step back with your right leg this time. So now your left knee should be bent to do the other side. Check the warrior two before we move along. And take an inhale. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Inhale, extended side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Inhale, extended side angle. Warrior two. Peaceful warrior. Extended side angle. Inhale to high lunge. Exhale, bend your back knee and straighten. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Exhale over into pyramid. Again, if you have a block, it's a good place to try it. And then open into triangle. And inhale back up into warrior two. Into peaceful warrior. Over into extended side angle. Into warrior two. Peaceful warrior. Into extended side angle. Into warrior two. To peaceful warrior. Into extended side angle. Into high lunge. Exhale, bend your back knee. And straighten, bend, and straighten, bend, and straighten. And exhale over into pyramid. Open into triangle, Trikonasana. And inhale up into warrior two. And peaceful warrior. Extended side angle. And warrior two. And peaceful warrior. Extended side angle. Last one, warrior two. Peaceful warrior. Extended side angle. And high lunge. And bend your knee. And straighten. And bend. And straighten. And bend. And straighten. And over into pyramid. open into triangle. Then up into warrior two again and come to center. And place your hands on your behind you. Grasp your hands together. Bend your elbows. Take an inhale. Hinge at your hips. Flat back. Straighten your arms. Exhale over. And take a breath. And exhale. Release your hands to the mat. And keep your right hand on the mat. Reach up with your left arm for a twist. Exhale your left hand to the mat. Reach up with your right arm for a twist. Exhale your right hand to the mat. Then walk both your hands over towards your right foot. Take a breath. Walk your hands back to the center, over to your left foot. Take a breath. And back to center. And then walk your feet at about half the distance they are now. And bend your knees for malasana, garland pose, or squat pose. And your heels could be off the floor or on a prop, a blanket or something like that. If you need the elevation, that's fine. And just check your back to make sure it's as long as it can be, lengthened. This is really good for your spine. You can do a little rocking side to side. And breathe. And then exhale, lower down to the mat. And bring your feet together. And grasp them with your hands. And then actually bring your hands behind your hips and lift yourself up off the floor to get your sits bones nice and situated. And then grasp your feet. And take an inhale. Then on an exhale, slowly bend forward. And you can use your elbows to press on your legs a little bit. And take a breath or two for butterfly pose. Then on an inhale, bring your legs back together, and let's do a few back rolls. Here, a few back rolls. And one of your back rolls, come to stillness in bow pose or Navasana. Find a good position for you for your Navasana. Nice little amount of tension. Take an inhale. On an exhale, straighten your legs and go back just a little bit. Inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale up. One more. Back. Hold it here for a little bit. And exhale, release your hands to the mat and your legs down, and place your hands right behind your hips a little bit to the side and back a little bit, and press up into reverse plank. And if reverse plank is not accessible, you could do reverse tabletop, which is here. Either one. And take a couple of breaths. And you can look at your toes, at your feet, at the ceiling. And then exhale, lower slowly down. And recline back for bridge pose. And to establish nice alignment, proper alignment for your hips for bridge pose, we're going to do some anterior and posterior tilting of our hips. So on an inhale, expand your chest, which will rock your hips into an anterior tilt. On an exhale, flatten your back, and that takes your hips into a posterior tilt. Inhale, anterior. Exhale, posterior. Inhale anterior, exhale posterior. And while they're in the posterior tilt, that's the proper positioning for bridge pose. So while they're in the posterior tilt, we're going to do some dynamic bridges. And on the bridge, inhaling up with our hips, we're going to lift our arms over our heads. So inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. One more, up and down. And the next bridge pose, we're going to hold for a few breaths. You might not want to take your arms over your head, but maybe roll your shoulders under your back and clasp your hands if that's comfortable for you. So let's inhale up and breathe. Now your next exhale, if your shoulders are tucked under your back, untuck them and slowly come down vertebrae by vertebrae. One more vertebrae last. Then bring your legs straight above you for waterfall. And if this is uncomfortable for you and your lower back, you could support your sacrum with your hands under your sacrum. And then let's do some pointing and flexing. Our feet, rolling of the ankles. You can change direction. And then take your feet, come to stillness and take your feet and try and face the soles of your feet together and away. Together and away. Together and away. And then do big slow bicycles, one direction. And change direction. And come to stillness and holding your legs together and your feet together, make slow, small circles, one direction. And change direction. And then come to stillness and give your legs a good shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake it all up. And then come to stillness. And then bend your knees and place your peace fingers between your big toe and your second toe for a happy baby. And you could stay still, or you could rock. You can have bent knees, straight legs, whatever you'd like to do. You can have one knee bent, one leg straight. Just play around. And then if you're rocking, come to stillness. And bring your knees together for hug knees. And you could do tight hug knees and stay still by grasping your elbows. Or you can grasp your shins for a little looser hug knees. And then you can make small circles again to massage your back with both your legs together. Or you can separate your legs and do separate circles with your legs. And remembering to breathe. And if you're making circles, come to stillness and keep your right knee bent and hug to your chest and straighten your left leg. Then bring your left knee in, straighten your right leg. Bring your left knee in, straighten your, alternate. Right knee in, left leg straight. And alternate. And alternate. And alternate. And then place both of your feet on the mat and take your left ankle and place it above your right knee, and then reach through either behind your thigh for reclining figure 4, or through to your shin for reclining figure 4, whichever is good for you. And if you're grasping your shin, then press your shin up towards the ceiling a little bit to intensify the effect. If you're grasping behind your thigh, you can use your left elbow to press against your left thigh to intensify here. And if you're not flexing your feet already, try that. And breathe. And then release your right foot to the mat and change it. Have your left foot on the mat, right ankle above left knee. And then decide what's right for you on this side. It can be different, either behind your thigh or through to your shin. And flex your feet if you're not already. Take some deep, deep inhales and exhales. And then release that foot to the mat and both of your feet to the mat. And with both your feet on the mat, lift your hips up and shift them a little to the left and then lay them back down on the mat. This gets your spine in really good alignment for a twist. Then straighten your right leg. Take your left knee across for a twist. And reach out behind you, perpendicular with your left arm. If you like a little more of a twist, you could straighten your top leg. You could wrap it around your left leg. You can play around with it. But once you're positioned, then look back over your left shoulder behind you. And try and lower your left shoulder closer to the mat. And breathe. And on an inhale, roll over to your back. And then with both your feet on the mat, lift your hips up a little bit and shift them to the right this time. And lower them back down. And then straighten your left leg. Take your right knee across. Then reach out perpendicular behind you with your right arm. And again, if you want a little more intensity to the stretch, you could straighten your left leg. You could wrap it around straighten your your right leg, one on top. You could straighten that one. You could wrap it around your left leg. Try different things out if you'd like to. And once you're positioned, And look back over your right shoulder a little bit more. And breathe. Try and get your right shoulder closer to the mat. And roll back onto your back again. And straighten your legs full length and your arms full length above you. And on an inhale, do a nice full body stretch. Inhale and stretch, 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 stretch. Exhale, release. And we're going to do a short, very, very short Savasana. So if you're not comfortable in this position, you could roll over onto a different position, onto your side, onto your stomach. You don't have to stay on your back. Grab a prop real quick, place under your knees if you like, bend your knees, whatever you'd like to do. And just for the next few moments, just try not to think about anything. And then roll over onto your side to assimilate your practice. Thank your body for doing yoga today. And then come up into a comfortable seated position. And I hope you feel wonderful and have a great rest of your day, and to see you again in the future. Namaste.